Good day everyone, we are Group 5 Tutorial 2. Today we will be presenting Chapter 5 Case Application 1 Defeating the System and Case Application 2 The Next Big Thing. Here's our amazing team members. Case Application 1 Defeating the System. Topic: Changing Culture. Hello everyone, my name is Yoon Seok-young. Before I begin presenting my questions and answers, I will briefly summarize the case application 1 for your better understanding of our questions and answers. The Volkswagen was a famous automobile company. However, in 2015, it was caught cheating with its vehicles, which is known as Dieselgate scandal. Volkswagen initially denied the scandal, however, later on the CEO admitted it. So the company ended up paying over $2 billion. I'll be presenting question 5-11. What external or internal forces, or both, for change do you see described in this case? Would you describe Volkswagen's environment as more calm water or whitewater rapids? Explain. I believe that the Volkswagen's case both shows external and internal forces. First, let's look at external forces. There are three main points from the text. First, discovery. The researchers at the West Virginia University had found something suspicious actions of Volkswagen, that the Volkswagen's cars were over the government emission standard by almost 40 times. Second, the continuous pressure. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency had further investigation of this case, and they discovered a defeat device. Now, what is defeat device? Defeat device is a type of software that detects when the vehicle is undergoing emission testing. So during the test, this software will automatically or artificially lower the amount of emissions to meet the legal requirements. However, during the normal driving, the vehicles will release much higher and illegal level of pollutants. This scandal is so-called Dieselgate scandal. This scandal issued globally because the company was recognized worldwide with a long history. Lastly, negative consequences. The Volkswagen faced a huge legal outcome, such as billions of dollars in financial penalties and a huge loss of customers' loyalty and the brand reputation. Now, let's look at internal forces. Much of Volkswagen's internal pressures came from its leadership. The CEO named Martin Winterkorn, he was known for having a demanding personality. He created a highly pressurized organizational culture where the employees felt enormous stress to deliver perfect performance, no matter what. Because of his management style, the organization became more unethical. So the employees felt discouraged, and this contributed to unethical decisions, like approving a defeat device in its vehicles. This is why, with the poor management and organization culture shows inefficiency that address the company into a serious outcomes. Now, is the Volkswagen's case describe calm water or whitewater rapids? Volkswagen's case perfectly shows whitewater rapids. This is because that the whitewater rapids represent an environment that is fast changing, unpredictable, and ongoing challenging. Volkswagen faced numerous pressures from both external and internal forces. For example, like a toxic performance driving culture and poor management style that has resulted the company into bad outcomes. Also, rapid technological shift in automotive industry. In conclusion, Volkswagen case perfectly represents the whitewater rapids model, and it also describes both external and internal forces.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Muhammad Hanif Nazmi bin Mat Isa, and you can call me Hanif. My metric number is 2500666 AA0X1002. So today I will present to you about the change that needs to happen at Volkswagen based on the three areas of change, which is people, structure, and technology. So first, let's look at people. The biggest problem at Volkswagen was the company culture. Employees were under very high pressure to perform, which is many of them were actually afraid to tell the truth when something went wrong. This fear-based culture pushed some workers to make unethical decisions, including the decision to cheat on emission tests. Because of this, the first change Volkswagen must make is to fix their culture. They need to build a workplace that has honesty, teamwork, and openness. When employees feel safe to speak up, problems can be solved early before they become scandals. So the next is structure. Volkswagen structure was too close and too rigid. Different departments work in silos, which means they work separately and did not share information. As a result, when something bad happened, the news did not reach the top management. This can be dangerous because the leaders cannot make a good decision if they don't know the real situation. So Volkswagen needs a new structure that allows information to flow easily and encourage communication across departments. A more flexible and open structure can help prevent future problems. So the finally is technology. The scandal happened because of Volkswagen used illegal software to cheat emission tests. This showed that their technology direction at that time was wrong, and they focused on shortcut instead of doing the right thing. Now, Volkswagen needs to focus on clean and ethical technology, especially on electric vehicle. They must avoid dishonest method and rely on innovation that is good for the environment. So my conclusion is Volkswagen must in all the three areas, which is people, structure, and technology. But the most important is people, because a strong and honest culture will influence every decision made in the company. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Hi and a very good day everyone. My name is Shazina Batrisha and today I'll be presenting on organizational development efforts that might work at Volkswagen and the challenges manager may face while implementing them. Let's begin. So first, we have culture change programs. Now, VW biggest issues was basically a toxic performance-driven culture. Imagine you going to work every day and thinking, if I don't hit the target, I'll be in a big trouble. That was kind of vibes. This culture pushed employees toward unethical behavior. So, the company urgently needs a transformation toward transparency, accountability, and ethical decision making. And how do they do this? It's through leadership trainings, working on ethics, and communication campaigns promoting honesty and responsibility. But it doesn't stop there. Managers must walk the talk. They have to model ethical behavior and reward integrity, not just high performance. Because if leader cheats, employee will think that cheating is their part of the jobs too. Next, we'll look at the leadership's development. Previously, VW's leadership style was, let's say, more to my way or highway. This discouraged employees from speaking up. Some probably rehearsed their sentence 5 times before even knocking on the manager's door. So, all the effort should include leadership coaching, transformational leadership training, and emotional intelligence development. This helps leaders become more supportive, open, and trustworthy with the shift. Employees will feel psychologically safe enough to share concerns, ideas, and even mistakes before the mistake turn into a scandal. Now, let's talk about teamwork. VW needs stronger team collaboration so employees feel less fear and more unity. Managers should involve employees in every decision making, because when people feel included, they will be and feel more responsible for the outcomes. This can be done through participative management, suggestion system, and regular feedback sessions among the employees. Basically, it sent the workplace from every man for himself into let's survive this together. Next, we were talking about challenges managers may face. Of course, all these changes sounds amazing on paper, but implementing them, that's where the fun and headache begins. The first one is employees resistant to change. Not everyone will cheers when change is announced. Some employees may fear losing their jobs, while others just don't trust that the change will actually last. It's human nature. When something has been done the same way for years, a sudden change feels like a plot twist that no one ever asked for. Next is deeply rooted culture. VW's old culture wasn't built in a day. It's developed over many years. So trying to change those mindset is like trying to uninstall a stubborn app. It takes time, and sometimes you think it's gone but it's pop up again. So manager must be patient and consistent. Third, restoring trust after the scandal. VW must rebuild internal and external trust. Employees need to believe in management again, and customers need to feel confident in the company. Trust is more like a glass. Once broken, it can be fixed, but the cracks take time to fade. And the last one is balancing performance and ethic. Manager must balance hitting targets and doing it ethically. It's not easy because maintaining productivity while ensuring transparency requires a total mindset shift, but it's necessary. In conclusion, VW can recover through cultural change, leadership development, and team involvement. But manager must be ready to face resistance, cultural challenges, trust issues, and balancing ethic with performance. With strong leadership and a commitment to integrity, VW can rebuild itself into a more ethical, supportive, and responsible organization. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Muswira, so I will be discussing question 5-14. So the question is, look at the reasons people resist change. Which do you think are happening at Volkswagen? What approaches would you recommend for overcoming this resistance to change? Give your rationale for each. So, my first reason for resistance is threat to the existing power structure. The highly autocrated and centralized style management, especially under former CEO Martin Winterkorn, made it hard for the company to accept change. The top leaders used to have all the powers, so they didn't want any changes that would reduce their control or give more decision-making power to the low-level employees. So my second reason for resistance is lack of trust in leadership, especially among individuals. The huge level of cheating, even by the top leaders, broke employees' trust. So they would resist any new culture change because they don't believe in the same leaders or new ones connected to them. They might just think it's just another show to fix the company's image. And then my last reason for resistance is existing organizational culture and norms. The company's culture encouraged breaking rules and doing anything to make tough goals, even though it is wrong. Employees were being rewarded for it, and also they were scared to speak up or fail. Because of this, they resist changing a system that they have been adapted for survival. Now let's move on to the second part of the question, which is approaches for overcoming resistance to implement a new culture change. So the first approach is through education and communication. Communicate the why. Leaders should clearly and honestly explain why building an ethical culture is so important. For example, to save the company's name, rebuild its reputation, and stay within the law. It shouldn't just be about following the rules, but also truly changing for a betterment for the company. So other than that, two-way communication. The company should hold meetings or small group talks where employees can share their thoughts, worries, frustration, safely or anonymously. Listen carefully to their concern about their jobs or work processes and respond to them honestly. So let's move on to the second approach, which is through participation and involvement. Involve the key stakeholders, which let employees at all levels, not just managers, help create the new ethical rules and systems. This makes the employees feel included and in control, which reduces the resistance to change. Other than that, find a new role models. Choose honest and respected employees, especially from the research and department, which is known as R&D department, or the engineering department, to lead and inspire the other employees. These new change agents should guide the change instead of depending on the old leaders who have already lost their trust. So let's move on to the last approach, which is through facilitate and support. So immediate personal change. The company has already started replacing old managers, but the new leaders must prove the culture is truly changing. They should protect and reward employees who speak up, showing that the fear and silence are no longer in the company. So other than that, ethics and value training. The company should provide regular training to the employees to focus not only on following rules, but also on making ethical choices and understanding company values. Teach employees how to meet tough goals honestly without taking any shortcuts. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you to my previous group member for presenting just now. Moving on, we are going to look at question 515, which is an innovative culture always going to be at odds with an ethical culture? Or is it an innovative and ethical culture possible? Gather your thoughts on this, and then in your assigned groups, come up with an answer. Support your conclusions. Okay, to begin, before we look into the question, let's see what is innovative culture and ethical work culture. So basically, innovative work culture is a culture which prioritizes new findings, innovations, new creations. The company wishes to move forward and produce new products which have never been seen before using new technologies to gain profits and also turnover. As for ethical work culture, the company basically prioritizes morale amongst their employees, meaning they wish for their employees to do the right thing when they are doing their work. Basically, they treat morale as a high aspect and the main objective in what they are doing. This, however, also depends on the type of ethics practiced by the company, such as whether it's the authoritarian view, the rights view, or the theory of justice view. Now, coming back to the question, we have divided it into three simple parts. Being the first part, is an innovative culture always going to be at odds with an ethical culture? Now, while innovation calls for improvement, it isn't always exactly ethical. For example, to produce a new innovation, new technology or a new product, basically companies need high investments and high production costs in order to do the research, gather materials, and so on. Now, to obtain this type of funding is not exactly very easy, which results in the company trying to cut corners in as many aspects as possible, as we can see as done by Volkswagen. They practically decided to skip or cheat the system in getting approval for their cars, despite it being banned and releasing deadly gas into the environment. This is proof that it isn't exactly ethical. However, the innovation aspect is technically achieved. However, through the means
we can see is not ethical as it harms the environment and everyone else around. Which brings us to the second part. Is an innovative and ethical culture possible? Now, the answer is actually yes. They can technically come hand in hand. However, it's how you wish to do it. For example, Yayasan UEM with their subdivision UEM Lestar, they are currently researching new technologies in renewable energy. Through this, they not only find a way to help the environment, they also find a way to improve. Because through this research, they are able to come up with new technologies, new innovations using the reusable energy which they have found through biogas, solar, and this does not harm the environment whatsoever because everything is completely 100% natural. The environment is not harmed whatsoever, nobody gets any bad side effects, everyone's happy, and they also are able to produce new innovations and technologies. This shows that innovation and ethical culture can come hand in hand. Which brings us to the last part, our conclusion. To say the least, it is possible. However, it is also up to the company themselves to do it because it isn't exactly easy. As we can see what happened with Volkswagen and Yayasan UEM, it depends on who is doing it and how they wish to do it. And that's all from me.
Case Application 1, Defeating the System, talks about Volkswagen emissions scandal. Number 1, the scandal is caused by external factors. West Virginia University researchers found out that there are some emission issues, and then the Environmental Protection Agency investigated and report Volkswagen company. Number 2, their internal culture is also a huge problem, which leads to unethical actions. Number 3, the company is in their whitewater rapids environment, means that not only that the auto industry is shifting into electric and autonomous car, the scandal made things worse in their end. Number 4, to fix the company, they need to changes in 3 specific areas, which is its people, their structure, and their technologies. Number 5, but the most important thing that needs changes is its people. They need to make sure that the new CEO can improve their cultures and attitude. Number 6, the insular culture was a symptom for bad structure. The company is most likely too rigid and siloed, which prevent news like can't meet the emission standards from reaching the top. Number 7, the scandal itself is a technological failure. If they want to survive the market, they need to pivot to a new ethical technologies like electric cars. Number 8, the main challenges in making change is the existing manager. People from the old culture will most likely resist to a new transparent way because of fear losing their status. Number 9, the Volkswagen case is a perfect example of very innovative company but unethical. The defeat device itself is a very innovative although illegal solutions to an engineering problems. Number 10, the main lessons is that we can't have long-term goals without an ethical culture. It allows us to take risks and report failures honestly.
Hi guys, my name is Norsha Sarah and I will answer these questions. I think US approach to innovation is excellent. They solve a problem for athletes like sweat and performance. So Kevin Planck's inspiration was based on having a superior t-shirt that not bothered by sweat. So this led to original compression t-shirt which was very different from the traditional cotton. So they created a new fabrics and designs like the second skin compression or the silky fabric in the original shirt that give the athletes effective benefits such as better performance, feeling lighter, or the faster drying. Yes, without any doubt, I would expect this type of innovation in the sports apparel company. The most important mission of sportswear is to enhance performance. If a company products can really enhance an athlete's performance even by 1% faster, cooler, drier, more comfortably, that's an edge. That's like a good thing. Innovation driven by performance is important in this sector. So, sport brands such as Nike, Adidas continuously invest a considerable amount in research and development in innovative shoe technology, advanced fabrics, and intelligent clothing. So to compete with these two brands, UA will need to maintain creative innovation or creative impact over time. So, performance-enhancing technology allows companies to charge a premium price. Consumers feel that a heat gear or a cool gear worth paying more than a simple t-shirt due to advanced technology in that t-shirt. So, innovation builds that perceived value. So the early success of UA wasn't because of a better logo or a cheaper price. It was a fundamentally better product for specific needs. In the hyper-competitive market for the athletic apparel, product is their lifeblood.
Hello everyone, my name is Muhammad Azmin and today I'd like to talk about Under Armour's organizational culture and how it fosters innovation. The culture is designed to encourage creativity, support risk-taking and focus on result, all while maintaining a positive work environment. The first point is tolerate and be practical. One aspect of UA's culture is a willingness to explore ideas that may initially seem impractical. For example, they have developed a shirt that monitors heart rate and a running shoes inspired by the human spine. This concept might sound far-fetched at first, but UA encourage employees to consider them. By being open to unconventional ideas, the company often discovers innovative products that provide real benefit to athletes. The second culture is tolerate risk. Another key element is their tolerance for risk. Employees are encouraged to test new ideas even if success is not guaranteed. Of course, some projects may fail, but this experience becomes valuable learning opportunities. By creating a safe space for experimentation, UA ensures that its team can innovate without fear, which ultimately drives the company forward. Moving forward to the next point, which is focus on ends rather than means. UA also emphasizes result of the process. The company's primary mission is to help athletes perform better. How employees achieve the goal is flexible. They may experiment with materials, technologies, or performance testing. What matters most is the outcome. These focus allow creativity and innovation to flourish rather than restricting employees to a rigid approach. The last point is positive feedback. UA places great importance on positive feedback. Throughout the innovation process, employees receive encouragement and support from the initial brainstorming stage to the final implementation. Even if an idea doesn't succeed, the company maintains a supportive environment, reinforcing confidence and continuous improvement. In conclusion, Under Armour's culture, tolerating the impractical, embracing risk, focusing on the outcome, and providing consistent positive feedback, creates an environment where innovation thrives. By combining creativity with support, UA empowers its employees to push boundaries and develop products that truly enhance athletic performance. That's all from me. I'll pass it off to the next part.
Hi everyone, my name is Aifa and I will be presenting question 518 which asks, how might design thinking help Under Armour improve its innovation efforts? So, what exactly is design thinking? So design thinking is an approach that focuses on understanding people, defining their problems clearly and coming up with creative solutions. It is actually inspired by how designers think, but now it's used in many industries, not just in design. So the goal is to combine empathy, creativity, and rational thinking to solve real-world problems. And one important thing, design thinking is not a straight process. You often have to go back and forth between stages to improve your idea as you learn more. So the design thinking process is made up of 5 phases. Advertise, define, ideate, prototype, and test. So I will go through each of these phases and explain how they can help Under Armour innovate even more effectively. The first stage is empathize. So this is where the company focuses on understanding the user, their needs, emotion, and struggle. So for Under Armour, this means observing and engaging directly with athletes, study how they train, what challenge they face, and what kind of sportwear they truly need. And Kevin Plank himself did this at the very beginning. He noticed that athletes were frustrated with shoes that got heavy and sticky during training, and he turned that insight into innovation. So through proper research and empathy, you can discover what athletes are thinking and feeling, which help the company design better product that truly serve them. Next, we have the define phase. So in this stage, all the information gathered during the empathize phase is analyzed to clearly define the main problem. For example, after listening to athletes, UA might define the problem as athletes need performance wear that remain lightweight, dry, and comfortable during intense workouts. So this phase is crucial because when the problem is clearly defined, it becomes much more easier to find an effective solution. So without a proper problem statement, innovation can become directionless. Now comes the fun part, ideate. So this is where the team brainstorm and come up with as many creative ideas as possible. No idea is considered bad at this point. The goal is to think freely and push boundaries. So for Under Armour, during this phase, the team might come up with ideas like developing smart clothing that adjust temperature automatically, or maybe design new lightweight shoes with stronger ankle support. So after brainstorming, the team will narrow down the idea for the most promising and practical one to move forward. So, once an idea is chosen, we move to the prototype phase. So this is where the concept becomes real. The ideas turn into a physical or digital model. So for Under Armour, it might mean making an early version of smart shirt or a new type of shoe using the chosen material. So these prototypes are not perfect. They are meant to test idea quickly. So through prototype, UA can get a clear idea of how the product works, how it feels, and what improvements are needed before mass production. So the last phase is test. This is when UA tests the prototype with real users. So in this case, real athletes. So for example, athletes could wear the new shirt during practice and give feedback about comfort, flexibility, and breathability. So if something doesn't work well, UA can go back, make improvement, and test again. So this phase ensures that the final product is something that truly meets user expectation and deliver performance value. So, in conclusion, design thinking helps Under Armour maintain its innovative edge by keeping focus on the users. It encourages creativity, problem solving, and continuous testing. So, with this process, Under Armour can keep producing performance gear that not only enhance athletes' abilities but also connect emotionally with them. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Fazal Safwan and today I will be discussing last question. So for question 519, what's your interpretation of the company philosophy posted prominently over the door of the design studio? What does it say about innovation? Make a list of lessons that manager could learn from UA's innovation approach that you could share with real managers. Under Armour Design Studio Code, we have not yet built our defining product clearly show that the company values continuous innovation and never stop improving. It means no matter how successful Under Armour becomes, it still believes that there is always room to grow and create something even better. This philosophy reflects a mindset of curiosity and determination. A belief that innovation is not one-time achievement, but an ongoing journey. It also says a lot about Under Armour culture. The company is never satisfied with what it has already done, and that key is people motivated to keep experimenting, testing new technologies, and challenging what's possible. It's a reminder that innovation requires both patience and courage. Patience to keep improving, and courage to take risks when trying something new. This mindset has helped Under Armour stay relevant and competitive in the fast-moving sportswear industry. Moving on to the lesson manager could learn from Under Armour's innovation approach, first is to always aim for continuous improvement. Managers should always encourage their team to look for ways to make product, system or service better. Even if something already works, there is usually a way to improve it, whether it is in design, performance or customer experience. Under Armour never stop asking what's next, which keeps the company evolving and prevents it from falling behind competitors. Next, managers should develop a strong culture of innovation. Innovation should not just come from the top of management. Under Armour illustrates that anybody can be creative in the company. Managers can provide an environment where employees feel free to share their ideas, no matter how small they are. This will create a work environment where innovation is part of everyday life rather than a rare event. Third is to embrace failure as part of learning. Mistakes are part of the process of innovation. Under Armour has plenty of examples of great ideas that came after several failed attempts. Managers should allow their teams to experiment and remind them that mistakes are part of learning process and not something to be feared. Cultures that embrace failure tend to be more creative and ultimately more successful. Moving on to the next point, which is to leverage technology wisely. Under Armour has consistently used technology like smart fabric and fitness tracking gear to keep improving its product. Managers can learn that the application of technology is not just about being fashionable, but about finding relevant ways to improve performance, efficiency, or convenience. Integrating technology wisely can give a company a major competitive edge. Lastly, managers must encourage team collaboration. Innovation rarely happens in isolation. Under Armour's success comes from designers, engineers, athletes and marketers all working together to create products that perform and appeal to customers. Managers should promote teamwork and open communication between departments so that different skills and perspectives can combine to produce a better results. That's all from me. Thank you everyone for listening.
Case application 2, the next big thing, talks about key insights into UA innovation strategy. There will be 10-point case summary. Number 1 is that Under Armour approach to innovation is extremely aggressive, but worth a shot as they deliver products that help athletes to improve their performances by integrating technology to enhance their apparel. Number 2, this is not typical in athletic companies, which make UA is different at its time. To compete with other sports brands, they created products like air conditioning shirts and shoes that are designed like a human spine. Number 3, clearly their goal is not just about creating clothes, but also using technology to remodel sports brand industry. Number 4, the company's culture is built to support this mission. They don't explore ideas like spine shoes without willing to take risk and fail. And number 5, they also tolerate impractical ideas. Ideas that are sound like science fiction is encouraged and not dismissed. Number 6, the philosophy of we have not yet built our divine product suggests that the company refused to be satisfied on old achievement. Number 7, this proves that their main focus is always on the next goal, not on the past achievement. Number 8, the case suggests that design thinking can help UAs to connect better with athletes by knowing what is their needs, emotions, and struggles. Number 9, a key lessons that managers can learn is to protect the innovation hub. It is where the healthy environment is and a place for employees to experiment. Number 10, leaders must also be an idea champion, means that they need to accept new radical ideas and have the persistence to see them through.